It's Kambada, the shaman, the god, the crack baby. And right now you're tuned in to Kofi's Universe, the #1 and most truest source for hip hop news, reaction videos, sports, black culture, and much, much more. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Bada.
YouTube salute. Nas explains how Biggie influenced It Was Written. If you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video, hit the subscribe button, click that bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. So, in an interview with GQ earlier following his first ever headlining concert at New York's Madison Square Garden, if you was at that concert, salute to you, y'all. Esco reflected on his sophomore LP and his radical change in sound from Illmatic. Knox explained that he felt pressure to remain an underground artist following the acclaim of his seminal 1994 debut, but the mainstream success that Biggie enjoyed, thanks to radio hits like Juicy, Big Papa, One More Chance Remix, opened his eyes to the importance of crossing over, especially if one wants to lay claim to the hip hop crown. These dudes didn't want me to sell records. They wanted me to stay on an underground level, and I understand what they mean a little bit. But at the same time, Biggie made it different, where you can't just be the hot dude that they like from New York to Connecticut to Virginia. You got to hit the mainstream. You got to touch the world. He's right. Because if you think about it, Illmatic was just more underground. Nobody was really paying attention to Illmatic like that. Like you wasn't hearing The World Is Yours. It ain't hard to tell. Those tracks on the radio like that. I didn't hear that shit out there in LA. I can't speak for New York or the East Coast or the Midwest or the South. But when I was young, I was a teenager, not even a teenager yet. Yeah, I didn't hear those tracks out there in LA. So nah, he's right. It Was Written saw Nas go from a more polished sound compared to the raw and rugged vibe of Illmatic. The album was largely produced by the track masters, the production duo of Poke and Tone, who has scored hits for likes of Biggie, LL Cool J, and Mary J. Blige. I saw the same producers that I had worked with were now giving everybody else beats and then throwing me the same beats, Nas added, referencing the likes of DJ Premier, Pete Rock, and Q-Tip. That just wouldn't do it for me, so I decided to make my rap style a little bit harder for them to follow. They're not going to follow me on a song like The Message. They're not going to follow me on I Gave You Power. They're definitely not going to follow me on If I Rule the World. I got Lauryn Hill on it. They didn't even fully get the Fugees at the time. Nas also worked with Dr. Dre. It was written as well on his collaborative album, The Firm, which believes it term might have inspired Biggie's own sophomore album, Life After Death. I feel like that collab with Dre brought in a new idea, maybe for things like Bone Thugs and Biggie together. He said, referencing Notorious Thugs, but I didn't invent it, but it made it more of a thing. Like, hey guys, we're also so standoffish. You come into my market, I come into your market. Let's have fun. It's like a family thing. When Nas did Nas Is Coming, produced by Dr. Dre, remember that was the East Coast West Coast beef was at the height. Not excuse me, Nas. Dre left Death Row. He already started Aftermath. He was getting ready to, launch his Aftermath records and pushing that. So, released in July 1996, It Was Written was a commercial success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 charts with 270K week sales. It remains Nas' best-selling album with over 3 million copies sold. I'm curious to know about how many copies worldwide. Despite the initial mixed reactions, It Was Written helped propel Nas into the mainstream while introducing mafioso rap alongside other pivotal albums such as Raekwon's Purple Tape and Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. Um, when It Was Written came out, I wasn't feeling it too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, man, what the hell is this? I felt like Nas. I felt like Nas was like he slacked up, he really was crossing over, and I really didn't want that from Nas. I really didn't want that from Nas. I was like, nah, Nas, you going the wrong route. Listen to It Was Written over and over and over. It grew on me. He became a classic to me. I said, okay, cool. I understand what he was trying to do. It is a step up as far as the things he was doing because he grew, he was older. But as far as like him saying he couldn't do tracks with like Q-Tip and other people like Large Professor and stuff or Pete Rock, could have still done tracks with them. He could have still done tracks with them. It's just he didn't really want to go that way no more. He wanted to, hit the mainstream cups. If I rule the world, that still was more. It's mainstream, but he's still keeping it as far as underground. Like it's not like he's selling himself out. Now there's other tracks. People say Street Dreams, you know, has that all eyes on me. They got the Street Dreams are made of these. Um, Tupac, that beat was really for Tupac had the beat before Nas, but they didn't really know at that time. But I didn't really feel that track. It was some tracks I was like, nah, why Nas is doing this? But the tracks produced by Havoc was tight. And Rap was it Rap Live Nigga? Live Nigga Lap. I forgot the name of the track, but it's the track featuring Mobb Deep. That track was actually Mobb Deep's track for Hell on Earth. Nas actually asked, Havoc and Prodigy, like, hey y'all, let me get that track. Like, I'll pay it, like 'cause I know y'all was gonna use it for Hell on Earth. So they gave it to Nas and they re-recorded the other track they did on Hell on Earth with Big Noid. Um, Give It Up Fast. Give It Up Fast. But as far as influence, Biggie influenced Raekwon only built for Cuban links because when think about it, Raekwon was coming into his own as far as like doing what he was doing, the mafioso stuff. Don't get me wrong, but influencing more Raekwon. Like we want to be the top in New York. We want that crown. We want everybody to talk about us around here. Influencing Jay Z, yes, I can see that too. But Jay Z had his own way of his own lane. Excuse me, but I feel like the I Am album it was a blessing and a curse because it was supposed to be a double CD. And remember, Nas was going to actually talk about more of his autobiography on the first album. Then he commits suicide on the last track. Then he goes and go to disc two. It's more like the aftermath of him talking about life after death. It was his own way of talking about what was going on, like in heaven, ancestral realm. But that didn't happen because the album got leaked. So they only came out with the I Am. Then Nostradamus came out later on that year, 1999. Then The Lost Tapes was released a couple of years later. But Nas rebound back when he released Stillmatic. Stillmatic was real, underground. It wasn't a sellout album at all. That's one thing I love about that album. It was like Illmatic 2.0 and Nas, like even where he's at now in his career, he realized that he don't have to even make commercial hits because who he is, people gonna love Nas. Nas might not ever have the mainstream appeal like a Jay-Z, a Biggie, or a Tupac, but at the same time, Nas is who he is. He's an MC, a master of ceremony you know. And I know that pressure was being put on him because he like, damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. If not, as far as seeing what Biggie was doing, but that's Biggie's lane. That was Biggie's lane. Biggie still has songs that was underground. He had storytelling songs. He has songs for the people on the streets. Nas was just who Nas is, as far as like, don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Did the track masters make and break Nas? Yes, they did. I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel that the track masters even supported him enough because even on the firm, some of them beats was like garbage. I ain't gonna lie. And even on the I Am album, I was like, man, why are you doing this? But I felt like he got back to his roots on Stillmatic, Godson, and so on. Post your comments below. Hulk smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you want to support and donate to the channel, I have Patreon. Patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs. Everything's in the description. Until next time, salute.